Okay, so even with that cleared out, there's still, you can see there's a bolt that's hidden under here. So I have to figure out how to clear some of this stuff out of the way just to be able to get to that bolt down there. So it looks like if we just take an 8mm and take this plastic out, it'll give us room to get to that bolt, so we don't have to remove the whole bracket here, because it's rather difficult to do from what I can see. So we'll just move this aside, and that'll give us room for that bolt right there. There's two more wire clips you're gonna want to get. Let's see, there's one right here. Back up a little bit so you can see where I'm at. So get this one here, and then there's also one on the back side of the engine. Just follow this wire down and it's gonna be like right there. And basically just pull this wiring harness over everything until you're clear of the valve cover. These are 8mm. If it's real dirty in that valley, go ahead and either take some air and blow it out or vacuum it out before you pull those ignition coils. So now the valve cover is going to have a total of 15 10mm bolts. They're scattered throughout the valve cover, so just remember there's 15 of them. There's a lot of them on this one, so make sure you get them all. But the book doesn't show a way to any procedure of pulling them off, but it does show a procedure of putting them on. I'm gonna follow the same procedure as putting them on as I do as taking them off, and usually that is crisscrossing and kind of doing, you know, one over there and then one over there, one over there, one over there, that kind of stuff. That way you're not bending the valve cover as you're taking it off. Just make sure they're all the same size as I do believe they were. Be careful, if you pry too hard, you could easily break the valve cover. So don't pry too hard. Don't use tools to pry this one. Just keep wiggling on it and it'll come. Okay, now you're going to want to clean up this track all the way around, and also along here. Any oil, debris, anything like that that's on there. You will also find a couple spots that's going to have some gasket maker on it. Peel that off with your fingernail. The book strictly says do not use anything metal on this surface. So you just want to use a towel and some parts cleaner. When you get to the gasket maker, just pick it off with your fingernail, and then make sure you don't scratch the surface. Yep. Spark plugs are 14 millimeter. This is a spark plug socket, but it doesn't pull them out, so I use a little magnet to pull the spark plugs out. I like to do a very small dab of anti-seize on the threads, just because they were kind of sticking a little bit when they came out. So you want to get these channels really clean. You don't want to have any oil or anything in them. What I like to do is spray it with parts cleaner first, and then I'll take a paper towel and run the edge of it along the edge of the valve cover gasket inside the channels. So you want to get all the oil and parts cleaner out of there. It's good to clean it up too, so the client knows that you were in there. And then let's see, here's the part number on his valve cover gasket. And then you're also going to want some silicone. I like to use the ultra black, oil resistant, and that's for those spots that we cleaned off on the head. You want to make sure your gasket is securely in those grooves, and it's not going to move anywhere. It should be good to go once you get it all pressed in. Now if you look on the gasket, you're going to see a couple spots like this on the end here. That's where that gasket maker is going to go on the head. and then you're also going to do a little bit where these corners meet. So I'll show you on the cylinder head. So looking at the cylinder head, you've got this part here, this bump here. You're going to put some in the corner on each side, some silicone on each corner there. And then over here you can see the seam where it meets, the timing cover meets the cylinder head. You're going to put some silicone there. And same thing on this side. You can see the seam where the timing cover meets the cylinder head. So you'll put some silicone there too. Now, once you have the silicone down, you want to put that valve cover on within 10 minutes. It doesn't take much, just a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't take much. You just need a little bit, just enough that it's going to seal down. When setting the valve cover on, make sure that the gasket doesn't move. It's kind of like to hold both sides a little bit till I've got it positioned where I want it, basically. Okay, these are really light torque, so I like to take them down by hand first. I'm going to show you the pattern. I'm going to try to anyway. Maybe you can pause it so you can see that. But this is the pattern I'll be running. And like I said, the torque is very light. It only calls for 40 to 61 inch-pounds, which inch-pounds, that's not very much, so keep that in mind. I will take the bolts down by hand first with this, and then I'll do a couple rotations to finish torquing it down. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to do it again with the torque wrench. I'm going to start at a low torque setting at 50 inch-pounds. And then I'll go the same pattern. I'll go around once, and then I'll bump it up to the highest torque setting at 61 inch-pounds. Very important, inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. So the second time I'll do the 61 inch-pounds, and that should be torqued down properly. Okay, so this first round I'm going to do 50 inch-pounds. Alright, now I'll take the 61 inch ounce.